Lovick from Northern Lace again. This time we're going to be looking at working out what colours of small skeins go together. Now, a lot of dyers will sell skeins of wool in 10 or 20 gram skeins, mini skeins, scrap sets they sometimes call them, scrap skeins. Now, when you look at this is at the whole lot together, you may think that they maybe don't go together terribly well or what have you, but we're going to be looking at how to decide which ones go next to which to make something really special. Now, these ones are from Rainbow Fusion. She's a brilliant dyer, all her stuff is good. These are double knitting, and you probably can't see it at the moment, but they're all sparkle ones, so the sparkle in all of them. And what I'm going to do is look at these skeins individually and put them together in an order I think I might use them, and what I use for which. I'm going to be doing a cowl and a hat and probably some fingerless mitts as well, we'll see. But that's what we're going to be looking at now, how to put together scrap sets of colours. Here we have the set of the 12 20 gram skeins. I'm now going to take them out of the bundle. Incidentally, I always keep the wrapper until the end so that I make sure I put the right things down. And now we start just looking at these. I'm deliberately doing this without thinking about it first so that you can see the sort of things that I look at as I'm doing it. Straight away it's quite obvious, there's a couple of greens there. There are 3 of them probably that are quite light. That one's definitely dark. Those 2 are both very colourful. Got all sorts of things there. And now basically it's just a case of looking at different ways you might put them together. As I'm looking at them, those have a lot of colours in common. That's 40 grams there. That's not enough if I'm doing a hat or a cowl. I want a few more than that. That would actually goes nicely then with that one. You can see there that there's those things. Maybe that, no, I don't like that with these. That one might go well, yes, look, you can see various colours coming through there, so that's a possibility. And that other very colourful one is also a possibility. So that's 80 grams worth, which would make a hat or a cowl. And I think probably I'll go with those, but I may change my mind. So we'll put those there and now look at the rest. Again, looking at colours which are in more than one skein, those go well. And that one goes with it as well. And if I want a 4th, which one? Now, at this point, I then start to look at what I've got left. Now, those 2 go together well, and I think they go together nicely with that. Do I want that one there or here? That one there or here? And I think I may change my mind. I probably will change my mind, but I think we've now got 3 sets of 80 grams. I'll leave those on the table for a bit, and as I come past I'll look at them and I'll move them before I make any final decisions. This isn't the only way I could have done this lot. I could have put all the greens together. I could have put all the light ones together. I could have put all the ones that are mainly one colour together. Those three and that one. So those would go well because you can see just a tiny bit there and there, the same colour there and there makes all the difference. Those would go well together. So there isn't just one way of doing this. There's lots of different ways. And you really need to think about what you want. Another possibility is if I'm thinking of doing a set of things, I would then probably want maybe 6 120 grams would be best if I want a hat and a pair of fingerless mitts, in which case how would we put them into 2 lots of 6? Again, I'm doing this off the cuff deliberately so you can see my thought processes. Those go together well. What else? That goes with them. That one perhaps 2, 4, 6. Now if I have those 6 there, what am I left with here? And those 6 actually go together extremely well. So there's another possibility of a 6 and a 6. But basically you just need to look at them, look carefully at the colours, see which are mirrored, and again sometimes it's only tiny bits, but they're definitely there, and that's the sort of thing that will come out in the finished item. There's one more thing I want to do before I start balling these, and that's to put the whole 12 of these together. Again, I haven't done this at all in anywhere. I just want to show you how I tend to work these things. So we've got the 12 there, and if we look at individual ones, some of them really don't seem to go together. What I then do is I just start to look. I look at the number, those that are basically one colour mainly. Those 3 are definites. Those 2, oh, that one's another definite. These 2 have got areas of both. And I think that one probably has 2, and then those there are all very much multicoloured. Now then, this is where I just sort of look and play, and again I'm seeing there's the peachy colour in those 2. That and that have obviously got quite a lot of colours in common. And then we've got the greens and the ones with the blues in. So if I'm wanting to use them all together, I want to put the ones that are definitely mainly one colour in between the others. I've also got, if you look, some are definitely dark and some are definitely light. Now, I could go from light to dark. I could go light, dark, light, dark. Again, no one correct answer, lots of possibilities. I think, let me try putting the lighter ones differently rather than all together. My eye still brings these 3 together. But where shall we go? Let's take the most difficult ones first. Now this peachy colour, which is wonderful, but doesn't go with some of the oranges. Having said that, look, there's exactly the same orange there and there. So some of those are more difficult to put together, so I would start there. Same with yellow, that can be difficult. But you see, again, that has got the same colours in. And maybe what we'll do is we'll put those together, and then we could go dark both sides. Now, yep, that's definitely a possibility. At this point I say, okay, what do I want to go at the edges? Probably maybe that one and the blue. No, that one and that one, I think, probably. So what happens if we put these in here? When you've done them like that, it's then definitely worth looking at them, leaving them around, perhaps playing with the odd one. I notice here, for example, these two go together very well at the edge, but these two don't go quite so well at the edge. I think what I'd be tempted to do is to put those two there, maybe put that there, or even put that there. That's better. Right, that's definitely working, because if you can see, in a sense we've got the peaches in the middle, and then going out to, we've got blues and then greens and other things. But because of the nice bright neons there and there, it isn't a case of going from bright to dull. It's going from bright to dark. Now, that may well be what I end up using. I will certainly leave that there for a while, and then maybe come back to it and maybe change it. We will see. Okay, I'm now nearly ready to get started on the hat and fingerless mitts that I'm going to make with these 6 mini skeins. Now, there's 2 things before I start making them into balls. There's 2 things I need to consider. The first thing is, how exactly am I going to use this between the hats and the mitts? Now, there are lots of different possibilities. Once again, there's no one right way or one wrong way. You could use those for one mitt and those for the other. You could use half of each for the hat, half of each for both the mitts. You could do stripes of a certain number of rows of each. There's lots and lots of ways, and you do have to, though, work out which you're going to do, because that may decide how you are going to ball them up. Now, if you're going to do it in any form of bits, you need to work out with yourself how accurate do you want to be. If you want to be really accurate, then your best bet is to put the skein onto a skein winder and then count the number of threads there are, and therefore you can decide how many wraps you're going to put in each of your little balls. If you're happy to be less definite, then your best bet probably is to have some scales and weigh roughly 10 grams, and then you've got 2 lots of 10. Again, nothing is set in stone. You do what you want to do. But there's one more thing before we actually start. Let's just look for the moment at 2 pairs. If we look at these 2, we can see that they are quite different. But if we undo them, then you'll see that in places, yes, they are different, but there are quite a few similarities if you choose the right bits. Right? So it may be a good idea to make some sort of label to go on your skeins so that you know which is which. This is truer still from this pair here, where in actual fact I can tell that this one has got most of its colour. You can see on one end, colour on that end, mainly the sort of blueberry that end. But you could well find yourself not being able to tell between them once they're into a ball. So if that's the case, it is far better just to take a tiny bit of time and put a label on for which one it is. Now, what I am going to do is, I've got as far as deciding with this particular lot. I'm going to do the two fingerless mitts in bits of each of the colours, each of the 6 colours. I'll probably put 3 in one and 3 in another, and then I'll be using the rest on the hat. So now all I've got to do, having done all the deciding, is to just get on and do it.